Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be comparing a store-bought burger versus a brisket burger. So I started off with the whole brisket, and the first step here is just trimming off this excess fat, especially the off-colored fat. I just didn't want to use that in case it gave the burgers any kind of odd flavor. There's plenty of fat on this brisket. This is a prime grade brisket from Costco, had great marbling. And the next step here is just really cutting up this brisket into small enough pieces that they'll fit in the food grinder. A lot of this intramuscular fat, these large chunks of white, I end up saving those, put them in a freezer bag, and I'll use those for grinding up with other meats to make a burger in the future. The burger for this video, I tried to match the store-bought ratio, which is 85% lean, 15% fat. So in order to do that, I end up using the flat of the brisket, and then I added a few pieces of fat, and from that ratio I think it came out to about the right fat content.
Alright, so I've got standard 85-15 from the store ground beef here. I'm going to try to measure out, we'll do 200 gram burgers. They need to be big enough that they're not just shriveled up when they're done, so. Don't want to compress them too much, otherwise they get too tough. But a lot of times the store-bought stuff's already too compressed in the package the way it is. This one's gonna be a little smaller. This should be one for the kids. These back in the fridge quick. Alright, now I'm going to set up the food grinder. It's a KitchenAid. There's stainless steel model. And then I'm going to start with this large hole one. I'm going to try the large and the medium. The large looks pretty big. I've tried to approximate what an 80-15 blend would be from this brisket. You can see I added a couple chunks of fat in there to try to, you know, my assumption was these are 90-10. Looks pretty close to me. 90% lean, 10% fat. These are from the flat part of the brisket. And so then I added a weight that I approximated from there to get an 85-15 blend, just like the store-bought burgers. Oh man, not sure if I cut these small enough. I'm going to cut them down a little bit. So we're going to throw all this stuff in here. All right. It's got a nice hopper on top. It can hold quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. You can see it coming out. I'm just going to plunge it in there. There we go. That's amazing. Just let it run for a little bit to get all that excess out. Okay, scrape that off. This is what the texture looks like, which is amazing. Look at this. Amazing texture. All right, 200 grams. 200 grams right here. We will just make this into a burger. Beast. All right. Here. I'm gonna put this leftover back in there. Here. Looks closer in size to the store-bought burger. this medium. I'll be interested to see what the large one feels like in comparison. That'll be fascinating. Here's the result of that one. That's beautiful too. I'd say this one, you know, the larger one is almost like you get cubes of meat, whereas this is actually a bit more stringy, like you would get from the store. So it might compact more when you make the burger. But so we're gonna do 200 grams again for this burger. Okay. Now let's make that into a patty and get these babies on the grill. It seems a lot easier to make a patty with the brisket burger here. Just sticks together nice. You can get the shape you want. You can put the edges in easier. It's nice. You can see the larger one here. Larger holes, smaller holes. Both look freaking awesome. All right, so I've got brisket burgers here, normal burgers here. Got my Lone Star Grill's pellet smoker set at 275. So we're just gonna smoke these burgers kind of low and slow for about 30 minutes. I think that's approximately how much it'll take. I'm actually gonna put a thermometer in the burgers, go for like a 140, about 140, and then I'm gonna pull them, crank the smoker up to its maximum temperature, remove the plate so I can do direct grill searing, and then we're gonna sear on each side for a minute. I'm gonna season these just with Lowry's. I'm gonna try to keep it simple so the flavors aren't masking any sort of differences that we might be looking for here. All right, here we are. We are just gonna go 1, 2. I'll put these small ones closer to the front because the temperature is a little bit colder on the front. 1. Just push that center down just a touch, just so it doesn't bubble. 2 and 3. Okay, and we'll take our thermocouples. I'm gonna put one in this one here. Okay, I'm gonna do one in this one here. All right. All right, these are registering 125. So I'm actually gonna pull them off and get the grill up to a hotter temperature. We're gonna open this up. Crank it all the way up. 450. Just wait for that to come up to temp and then we'll start the sear. So now we've got it flaming up pretty good. These are gonna be the brisket ones. So we want to just give those a little sear for about a minute, and then we'll flip them and do the other side. the 85-15 normal burger from the store. Looks pretty amazing. It's good. It's really good. This is the brisket that I tried to mimic 85-15. This is the large hole grinder. So we'll see. Yeah, this one just falls apart more. It's got way more meaty flavor to it. This one has actually seemed a little bit juicier. It might have had a little bit more fat. I was trying to eyeball this one. Hard to say, but the flavor on this one is for sure better, and I can tell. I'll have to ask my wife to do the same test and see what her thinking is, but really good. It's got a lot more beefy flavor to it. Like this one, just kind of bland, especially when you taste them right after one after another. You can tell a big difference. Now, if I was just given this, I could probably taste it after having it for a while, but you know, right now I'd be like, wow, this is a great burger. What's unique is like it falls apart more in your mouth, and I think that's from the store-bought is a lot tighter grind that they do, and it's more compressed, and it kind of bubbled up more in the grill, where this one kind of stayed flatter, and when you bite it, just kind of it falls apart more in your mouth. So definitely worth it. If you have your own grinder, I'd be doing it. Brisket's only $4 something a pound right now, so you can make 12 pounds of burgers and freeze them and have great burgers for months.